Welcome to Some Say I'm Gifted, where we teach you the magic of walking in your spiritual gifts and how it can help you navigate this crazy life, and helping you understand that even though we're in this world, we are not of it. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's get real.
Hey, y'all. Edit that first out. Hey, guys, it's us. The three of Some Say I'm Gifted. That would be me, Tess.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And Morgan.
Woo! She's a little, slow to the draw, but that's okay. We're quick draws over here.
Yes.
So we like to shout out. Do you like that? You like my sound effects?
We like that. Love the voice changes.
I just like it because Morgan's got headphones on, so I was so loud in her head just now that it made her memories rattle like glass bottles of soda.
She said, "Where am I? Hang on."
Yes.
Yes.
So we do a shout out, either business or a person every episode. And today we have picked a person.
We have.
Who
Yes.
is it, Danielle?
The lovely Michelle Tucker. Thank you so much for commenting on our TikToks. We appreciate you.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
If you are wondering how these people, these lucky people, got shout outs on our podcast, it's from interacting from our interactive post. I feel like such a tech savvy person when I say these things. I'm really not, y'all. But you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Some Say I'm Gifted. And we post every day. So please interact. And if you want to shout out, or if you just want to say hi, whatever, we're cool with it. Okay, today's podcast is what I like to call guided. That's what, if I could name it, that's what I would name it, is guided. Okay?
Love
It's been
that.
named.
Love that.
And it's a multifaceted name.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Go into that.
I can't.
Oh. Well, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a letdown.
Listen. If you've ever been to my house, you know it's a bumpy ride to get there. Okay?
That's true.
I'm pretty sure I saw Danielle jump fly about a foot off the seat as we left. Anyways, I want to talk about Reiki for a little bit. Okay. I want to talk about, we use Reiki, traditional Usui Reiki, right?
Yes.
And I'm not saying the other kinds are wrong. They're just different than what we do. Yep. And traditional Usui Reiki follows Christ. And I know that you're like, but wait a minute, he was not American, or he wasn't a Christian. Like, he was Christian, he wasn't American, but that's okay. But he sought out answers. The reason he went to find Reiki was because one of his students that he taught at a monastery, like a Christian school, asked if we can heal like Christ said we could. Heal the lame, let the blind see and the deaf hear, and blah, 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 blah. Why aren't we? He went to find the answer, right? Mm-hmm. And that's very important. That's the question. Like, if I teach Reiki, I tell them this is the most crucial part of this teaching. You have to know this. And when I ask you what the question is, this is the question. And that's so important. I can't stress the importance of that. Okay. A lot of Reiki practitioners and teachers, they do not talk about that at all. And that's fine. If that's your boat, you float in it. Not mine. Not Danielle's, not Morgan's. None of the we all agree upon this. And that's cool. That's fine for us. And if you think differently, that's fine. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you how we work, okay? So a lot of different Reiki experiences can be very different. A lot of people don't feel anything from a lot of people. I don't think I've ever had a client tell me they haven't felt something. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to toot my own horn. I'm not. But I'm trying to go back in my brain and say, have I, and you've worked on it, have you ever had anybody say they didn't feel anything?
Maybe in the earlier days, but now, I can not even be trying, and they're already like, ooh, I felt something, and I was like, okay.
You don't feel like it's gas or anything like that?
Oh, sometimes.
I would say that, but that's just me. Danielle, I know that you Morgan had a pretty, like, in-your-face Reiki experience with us. Like,
Yeah.
we worked on her and her mom. Then she took classes. It was just like boom, boom.
Right.
So you didn't really have any... You'd really never heard of Reiki before. Is that right, Morgan?
Yeah, I hadn't had any spiritual, or not spiritual, but like energy, metaphysical experience before meeting you.
But you were a child.
Yes.
You were a little baby.
Yes.
Because you were how old when you met?
16.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was a little baby.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
no
little.
lie. Like, remember we were talking about friendship and Morgan, like, looking at me and be like, doesn't matter. He's not going to marry... You're not going to marry him anyways.
Uh-huh.
I was a snotty 17, 18-year-old.
Yeah. Like, when you have to realize that she was already graduated from high school. She was working. She had her own life. But at the same... She was just a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was... Here's the funny thing. She's like 2 or 3 years older than Stokes. Now, can you imagine Stokes driving from here to Illinois to see your mom? I can't.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
In like 2 or 3 years, oh gosh. I mean, even in 2 or 3 years, if he's like, I want to go see Aunt Morgan, well, I'm coming with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most
Like,
people
that's just
aren't even out of high school yet. They're still like
I know.
they're juniors and seniors in high school.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay,
you-
so
yeah.
Danielle, we had a episode where we talked about things, and you were kind of going through things, and you sought out Reiki and learning about it before working with us, correct?
I did.
Can we talk about some of the things you went through in that
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah. So I had my first Reiki session probably when I was like 17 or 18. I was in high school still, and my dad's side of the family is very into like the spiritual aspects of things. So they had a Reiki practitioner come to their house. I went and got Reiki from this Reiki master for a couple of different sessions. It was very different in that she used like angel oracle cards, tarot cards, and would tell me all these things she was seeing, but like it was very past life related.
Okay, before we go any further,
Yeah.
oracle cards, and we will double check this. I don't use them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people will argue with me and say oracle cards and tarot cards are different. I'm sure there might be, Uno cards and playing cards are different, but they still cards. You know what I mean? Like, to me, they're the same because I don't mess with either of them. I'm not saying if you do, you're burning in hell. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, not my cup of tea, not the gypsy's cup of tea. It's fine if you do it. I just don't work with them.
Yeah. I feel like they were very similar in that they, had a picture on them, they had a little number, they had a meaning. And
They are very similar.
Yeah. So when I got those first couple of Reiki sessions, I was drawn to it, but not to the point that I wanted to pursue it in terms of like learning and
Yeah.
teaching it then. Then when I moved to Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks, I got a couple of other Reiki healings before I met Tess and the Mountain Gypsies. And I will say one particular experience stands out for sure. I went in kind of out of the blue, right up probably 2 months after I had moved to the Outer Banks, and asked if they were doing Reiki. They said yes, so I paid, lay down on the bed, and it was a very different experience from the ones I had gotten earlier. I felt like the energy was being pulled out of me the entire time that I was on the bed. And I honestly stood up, was extremely dizzy. I went home and I'm pretty sure I got sick, but either way, I was just not feeling good at all. But then it started to kind of turn me off to it because I felt like, okay, there's something else going on here. And where I was pulled to it in the beginning, this is like a whole different experience.
So how many sessions did you get with that one?
Only that one.
Okay, cool.
Because I was like, after that, I honestly, that's why I was debating not reaching out to
Yeah,
your mom
yeah.
when Eric brought it up to me, because I was like, I had a really bad experience that last time, and it was not, I don't know. And the energy was just completely off, but I really felt like they were just pulling whatever it was from me, and it didn't feel good afterwards. So, yeah.
Okay.
That was around the same time when you started feeling real blue?
Yes,
we'll say?
for sure, yeah.
So which came first, the Reiki session of the blues?
The onset of the blues started, but it progressively got worse after that.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, I will say, there was a psychic medium that I had reached out to in the meantime as well, and did a online, like, over the phone reading. That made it even worse. So
Yeah, because I'm writing down notes because the first ones where it was very past life, so here's the thing, and this is important to know. You can do Reiki and you can give the person Kool-Aid. just hear me out. I mean, just give them a glass of Kool-Aid before or after. Same. You can do Reiki and feed somebody. Okay, you can do Reiki and give them a meal. You can do Reiki and do tarot cards. You can do Reiki and you can do a past life regression. The Reiki and tarot cards, or oracle cards, whatever floats your boat, Reiki and past life regression is the same as Reiki and giving somebody a meal. There's totally different things. Reiki is totally separate from oracle cards, past life regressions, and spirit guides. I cannot stress that enough. Those are all 3 or 4 dividing rods. Those are all separate.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that needs to be said. Anybody that disagrees with me on that, please contact me. I would love to have you on the podcast and have a debate.
Yeah.
And then we can be very honest and open, and you can show me where you can find any bit of literature that's legitimate that backs that.
Yeah. And I will say that was what was so different from getting my first healing with your mom was that we had a conversation before my session.
Yeah.
It was just Reiki in a whole different way I had experienced it before, but there was nothing else that came with it. Pretty sure she used some rocks, but it was completely different. And the way she explained what she was doing and the talk afterwards was very real, but very, I don't know, like profound in a sense, but it made me feel so much more whole than the other ones did. I think that was the whole difference.
Yeah.
Like I felt full by the end of it, whereas
Full
the other,
instead of drained.
yes,
Yeah.
full instead of somebody trying to take, they were giving.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what Reiki is supposed to be.
Right. But it was a very, very different experience. So
So how many people before Mom did Reiki on you?
I think 4.
So you had talked about one.
Yes.
Can we talk about that one?
Yeah, we can talk about
Okay.
that one. So when I was a senior in high school. I had just graduated high school. I was in West Palm Beach with my ex-boyfriend, and his aunt claimed to be a Reiki master and did acupuncture.
But and Morgan, those are 2 different entities, are they?
Two totally different things. To go to be an acupuncturist, you have to go for 7 to 10 years
Yes.
to school for.
Yes.
So make sure they're accredited before you let people stick needles into you.
Yes, because I will tell you, there was a place not far from here that was teaching people and claimed to be all this stuff. They weren't, and they were sharing needles.
Oh,
I know.
Oh my
that's
God.
disgusting.
That's
It's
on.
dangerous as crap.
Yeah.
It's honestly terrifying because I had my eyes closed when it happened, and I had never gotten acupuncture before, and it was just right in my
Third eye.
and it was at the end of the Reiki session. But that was also a very odd experience. I didn't necessarily feel drained, but I felt very wonky afterwards. And there was a lot that happened when I got back home after that trip that was not fun. Like, for example, the dog that I had for a very, very long time, out of the blue, got a severe intestinal issue and died within a week. Crazy. And he was I know it sounds weird, but he was my best friend. And then my relationship with that guy went extremely south.
Thank God.
Thank God, because
Yeah.
thank God. But and that was the summer that I was supposed to go to Coastal, and then ended up staying home for a year and going to community college before going down to Myrtle Beach the following year and going to Coastal. Crazy. And all that happened in the summer following that session that I had with her.
Which we have worked on this. And it's still, she says it's painful.
Yeah, her third eye is still painful.
But
Yeah.
but I think it's different now. I think more of it is a fear-based pain as opposed to physical pain. Because, like, you could see it would hurt her, like, physically hurt her.
It's definitely not as bad as it was before. It's only when I concentrate, like, really hard on it. But
See, yeah. It's like if she just, if it just happens, it doesn't hurt her.
Yeah. Before it was like,
If anything happens, she used her thumb, like, it would hurt. Now she has to think to make it hurt, which is kind of more of an inward self thing as opposed to.
Yeah.
it's so true. So yeah, that, I don't know which experience was worse, that one or the one in Kill Devil Hills, but both of them in their own right were, I'm not gonna lie, kind of scary in a sense.
Yeah.
And like left me.
I am surprised you went back. Or not went back, but continued to attempt Reiki.
I was hoping for the best, okay? But there was, the only one I ever wanted to learn from was you and your mom met.
So you didn't want to learn from anybody else? Guided too. The fridge.
Oh, no, you
Sorry.
don't need to guide
I
it
know,
too,
I
but
thought you would enjoy that.
she answered no. She did not think of going anywhere else to learn Reiki.
You did, so you don't want to, none of the lady with the needles wasn't appealing to you.
No, I never wanted to see her again.
So you got a session from mom, then she asked you, do you want to learn Reiki, right?
Yes.
Or did you ask her?
She asked me if I thought I was gifted. And I looked at her with probably like a really blank stare and was like, I don't know what that means. And then she was like, we teach Reiki classes. Would you think about taking a Reiki 1 class with me? And I was like, absolutely. When can I start? And I started the next week.
Yes. So from when you got the session to when you did the class, all the gypsies that were active came in town, and you missed us.
I did.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't. Yeah, I was there for that, and I didn't meet her.
Yeah.
I was only there
I
for
did.
a
I
short
didn't meet her
time.
either.
That is crazy.
Yeah, your mom had invited me, and my sister and her husband were coming into town. And honestly, I was very nervous to go because I was like, I don't even know what kind of world I'm stepping into. I got to explain this to my boyfriend and like figure this out. But I knew that I really wanted to learn, and I really wanted to be a part of it at some point. But it was like so new that I was like, I don't even know. But yeah, literally the week before, I think, was the week that Kat worked on me.
Well, Carolyn and Charlie were there.
They were
She
there.
didn't meet them, and Carolyn sat through her class.
Yes.
So she met Carolyn and got her contact information, and that's how she was trying to get in touch with me after Mom passed.
A question for you, Tess. Has Danielle and I both got sessions and immediately started trying to learn? Have any of the other gypsies or any other people attempted to immediately start learning like we did? Would you say the majority of them?
Yeah, but I don't. I'm very picky who I work with.
Yes.
I mean, I invite, if you're, let me rephrase this. I have a lot of people ask to work with me. It's not because I've got more money than God, okay? That's not the issue. I have been burned so many times by people that tell me that they follow the teachings of Christ. They wish no harm. They don't want to hurt people. They don't do witchcraft, all that. Look, I don't care if you do it. That's cool. That's your thing. But for me, I can't work with certain things. Nothing against you. It's me that's the issue, okay? It's not you. It's me. So I think it's important for people to understand that I can't really waiver that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of picky. There's only a few people that I ask. I think Morgan, honestly, I don't know if you know this, but you were the first person I told Mama I want to teach her Reiki.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and your mom, because I loved you guys immediately. But I didn't, it was like immediately I got a little sister, which I already had to, but like I knew that this was going to be like a sister that we could share clothes and not get mad. You know what I mean? Like,
That's important, though.
Yeah.
That's important.
my other 2 sisters would get so mad if we, wear each other's clothes. But, yeah, it was a little bit different. But I've taught people I didn't want to teach, if that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I worked with Mom and people I didn't necessarily feel comfortable with because she was kind of like my boss,
Yeah.
I did what she,
Yeah.
implied. And every one of them I didn't want to work with, darn it, I was right on, And I didn't want to be right. I don't want to be right.
No.
Yeah.
I know.
But there's a reason why you have to be picky.
Yeah.
There's reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Many.
Yes. And
Well-
keep in mind that we're talking about taking on clients or people to teach this
Yes.
stuff to, not clients to receive healing. We
No,
will work
right.
on anyone with anything.
I can't say that let me rephrase that. A lot of people I work on, when I start working on them after their experience so we do more than Reiki when we work on people. We do different levels. We do Reiki, we do sound therapy, and we do mountain magic. Okay, there's 3 different levels to it, okay? When people have that experience, they automatically want to know what the hell just happened to them.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way. They're just like,
What was that? I need
what
more
was
of it.
that? I want to know what it is. I need more. I yearn for more. And sometimes they're like, okay, I want to take a class from you because I want to know what this is. And that's it. And if it's people like that, I'll be like, okay, I'll teach you Reiki 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's more than that, then we have to sit down and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get that a lot. And Mom, we both, I mean, it was a regular thing, so.
Yeah. Well, I understand why. Because I'm telling you, there was no one else that I wanted to go to afterwards and be like, hey, would you mind teaching me this, or I want to learn this from you.
So out of the 4 practitioners or masters, because I think you said they were all masters, right?
They had claimed to be masters, yes.
So there's different levels,
Yeah.
right? There's the practitioner or self-healing practitioner, master, teacher. Okay, now there's only supposedly 3 classes, but then you have teacher, which is a 4th class, and a whole nother symbol.
Right.
Okay. Out of the 4, none of them had any experience like you did with Mom or with we'll just say with me, with Mom, we'll just say gypsies with us. Because you've had sessions since Mom with us.
Correct. Yes, I have.
And none of them felt anything like what you had with the gypsies.
Nothing like that. I will say, so 2 of the sessions, I saw like one thing, but it was not something, like one was very scary and intense, and the other one was just a little image. With your mom, there was lights, there was colors, there was feelings, there was literal like breaking of chains. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
And then afterwards your mom explained it to me as to
Yeah.
what it was, and it made so much sense. But there was just the emotional thing too. When I came off that bed, I felt like a whole new person.
Yeah.
That is one universal thing people say after sessions, is that they feel lighter.
Lighter, and literally like there was this weighted jacket on me that had completely like fallen off, and
Yeah.
then I felt like I could breathe again.
Yeah.
For real, because the breathing thing was a problem, and I felt like for the first time I could breathe again. And I went home and I danced and I cried and I sang. That sounds extreme. I did. I literally did. I praised God for the next like probably 3 hours. So.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
this is not, I'm not like, oh my God, really? Because I wish I had a list of everybody I've ever worked on. And I probably do if I'd like put all the messages on my phone together. And, you know, I used to keep sessions. I had like an appointment book on my phone.
A little black book.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to call it that, but yeah, if I could put all that together, and I wish you could see that there was thousands, and I'm not exaggerating, but thousands upon thousands of people I've worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And what's weird is that people will walk up to me and be like, hey, especially if we're like at an event, like a paranormal event, and they'll be like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, how is blah, 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 blah? And they're like, I'm like, how do you remember? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yep.
So, I mean, Morgan's been with me, and she's like, how did, I'm like, I don't know that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily remember their name, but I can tell you their life story, you know, but.
Yeah.
That's something we've heard a lot. I think the hardest thing I ever heard, which is really, to me, interesting, was Dana. When she got off our bed, she realized that her entire life she had never experienced joy till that moment. And I was like, that's like the best, worst thing you could have ever said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you did this, like when everything in Reiki and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that make you go, before working with us, did that make you want to seek out more stuff about past life, tarot cards, anything like that?
Yes, it did.
So what'd you get into?
Some tarot cards. I brought home a set of runes. Yeah.
I do. As soon as you said that, I had forgotten it because I remember walking you through it.
That was freaky. That was a terrible
So
time.
do you know what runes are, right?
Vaguely.
They're Druid
Yes.
or Wiccan. I know. I mean, I know people that practice black magic that use them, but like originally,
But they're little tiles, right?
or rocks
Yeah.
with symbols on them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mine were like a little bag of rocks.
Okay.
Like I think they were jade or something. And yeah,
They have like, they're engraved usually
Yeah.
with jade and stuff like that.
Yep.
yeah. So those I brought home. I looked into like dowsing rods. I watched like psychic mediums on YouTube. I did, you know, like all the things.
Really? I don't think I knew. I knew you had gone to a psychic medium, but I
Yeah.
didn't know you watched.
No, in between, after your mom passed away and me trying to get a hold of you, that it was an interesting time.
Which is really funny because one of the biggest things we talk about when we start with Reiki 1 is we do not work with any of that. And Mom, for whatever reason, left that out, and chakras. I could have killed her. She was already dead.
She left it all out of your training?
Yes.
We didn't talk about chakras at all or anything like that. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Kat.
It's okay. I mean,
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah,
where
but
you're
you
not.
remember that's when she had the lump by that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Go
so
ahead.
Tess taught me about chakras in Reiki too.
Well, let's go back.
Yeah, we're rewind.
So I started talking with her, and I said, well, do you want to take Reiki too? And she said, yeah. And I said, I usually try to get somebody through Reiki 1, 2, and 3 before you do mountain magic. Because Mom and Carolyn had told her about mountain magic. She wanted to take it, which is another form of healing we teach that's been passed down through our family for generations. So anyways, we start talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure Mom's went over this, but I'm just going to touch these bases. Do you use tarot cards, rune, dowsing, everything she had thought about? I boom in that order, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she went, well, actually, I have tarot cards, runes, and I said, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I think we were on FaceTime. I freaked out,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, I said, I'm not saying you have to get rid of them. That's your property, and if they mean something to you, by all means, keep them. But I will not, and I cannot work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to say it as nice as possible because I'm not trying to be passive aggressive. I'm not. If people, because I've had people I worked with that love their tarot cards more than learning Reiki with me, and that's fine. They went their other way. I don't hate them. I just won't work with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like saying I can't have gluten. You can eat all the gluten you want, but I can't have it around me. I can't breathe it in. Gluten's dangerous for me. It's the same. It's the same principle. Okay,
Yeah.
I just don't do that.
Yeah.
And she went, why? And I said, because it's just not. Because I don't do tarot cards. I don't do spirit guides. I don't do any of that. Right. And so we went into the conversation of why, which basically boils down to it is not what I do. That's psychic medium work. I'm not a psychic or medium.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. I know people are going to listen like, that's not psychic and medium work. Anybody can do tarot. They can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's connected to psychic medium work, and I don't do that. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to mention, they have a history. And I encourage people that are going to be like, look at the history. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me where they came from. Tell me who invented them. And tell me the art. Also, let me know if you started work with them, if your life changed, and in what way. I'm just curious, and we'll see who's right. I'm not mad about it. You want to be right, that's fine. I want to be right, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I was really
You were.
calm about it. I won't do it.
Absolutely. But after we had talked about it, I realized that it wasn't those things that had made me feel better. It was the session, and it was how I felt afterwards. And all I was doing was trying to find something to bring that back.
Yeah.
And those were not doing the trick. Things
Yeah.
were actually getting worse at that time. I was kind of reverting back to how I was.
Well, her panic came back,
Yeah.
and her depression.
Yes. Yeah. It was like there was this light, and then
She was seeking. It was like, this is going to sound horrible. People that have done drugs, that first high, you seek it. That's
Yeah.
what she was seeking.
For real.
And she was looking
In the
under
wrong
every rock
places.
to find it.
For real. No, literally. That's truly what it felt like. Like I needed like that hit again, but it's
Which is hilarious because runes and tarot cards they are very different. People use both of them, but they're different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every time somebody says runes, I know this is silly, but I think of Dungeons and Dragons because the only experience I have with Dungeons and Dragons is one of my friends in high school was into Dungeons and Dragons. John, you've talked to him. He's hilarious. I love John to death. Anyways, and he said, hey, your family's into weird stuff. And I was like, he's like, explain to me what a rune is. And I was like, oh. And I told him, okay, cool. I need it for a character. And I was like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Dungeons and Dragons, you want to come play? I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. So, every time I think of runes now, I've always thought of Dungeons and Dragons. But yes, they're very, very, they all have symbols and very druid. But the Wiccans have, and I mean, like I said, I know a lot of people that have taken it. Anyways,
Yeah.
so Danielle and I talked through it, and she said, well, I really don't want these. I just thought that this would bring me joy. And I said, okay, great. Now, this is one of my favorite parts, okay? So we go through how to get rid of them properly. And, I might get some grief for this, but I feel like this whole episode, I'm probably going to have people hate on me. So just, if you want to hate, that's fine. I love you. Okay, let me just tell you that. I love you. Don't be mad at me, but this is just how I believe and this is how I feel. I don't judge. Please don't judge me. If you judge me, that's on you, right? Okay. So, one of the reasons I don't use tarot cards is because they're not of God. Okay? And I follow Christ. And, you know, it is what it is. I know a lot of people that follow Christ that use tarot cards. I know a lot of Catholic people that follow Christ that use tarot cards. That's fine. It's just not my thing. And I made a promise a long time ago I would never touch those things. In fact, the last time I did, I got deathly ill. Okay?
Coincidence.
Because I was doing a reading. I know how to use them. I was taught how to use them. I can read tea leaves and I can read palms, but I don't do it. Okay. I regress. Okay. So we go through this, how to get rid of them properly, because she didn't want to sell them. She wanted to get rid of them and make sure they were kind of sealed off. So whatever. So we go through this process, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, you call me. This was like halfway through the week or something. It was like a Wednesday or something. We're going to start Reiki classes. I think it was a Saturday. I usually do them on Saturday, especially if they're online, because I do it on a weekend. I don't have my kids, right?
Yep.
So I tell her to do this. So like the next day or two, I'm talking with her. And we're starting Reiki too. And I'm like, so do you feel better? How did your house feel? You know? She's like, well, I did go to confession. And I said, for what?
Confession.
I did go.
Listen.
I know.
Just listen, Linda.
I'm listening.
I feel like the football coach. Listen to me. So I was like, why would you go to confession? She goes, because it was probably a sin to have this, and I need to ask for forgiveness. I said, from who? She said, from God. I went, then why didn't you just ask him? She went, what? I went, Mom taught you Reiki?
We didn't get to that part.
Well, I think that Mom was
Sliding down a slippery slope.
No, I don't think she was. I think she was co-teaching.
Oh, yeah. She'd been doing that a while. Slowly stepping back and letting you take the reins.
Yeah, but it was someone else's turn to step in to take that so when we work with somebody and they become a teacher, we ask for you to sit in, like if you want to sit in so you can watch us teach, that's great. And then we want to be there with you when you teach. So we'll let you teach some of our classes and we'll tell you to cover some bases. I was later found out from doing my investigative talking that I do that someone else was supposed to teach chakras and some other things. And I think it just fell through the cracks. I think that Mom thought Carolyn did it, Carolyn thought Mom did it.
Gotcha.
And it was just fell through the cracks kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But luckily, as always, I come in and cover everybody's ass. So it's okay. Big cracks. But I covered them, right? That's why my butt's so big. All right. So anyways, I said, why do you need, forgiveness from a priest when you can go straight to God? She said, what do you mean? And then I told her that when Christ died on the cross and he rose again, that the veil between so do you all know about the veil?
Yeah.
Okay, let me so before Christ died on the cross, you would have to go to a priest who is worthy to go before God in the throne room, so to speak, before God to say your confessions. Okay, that's why you go to priest. When Christ died on the cross and came back from the dead, you didn't need that anymore. But when Catholicism started? After Christ died.
Because when he died, the veil...
The veil tore from the top to the bottom. As if, so nobody could tear it from the bottom. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
So you didn't need that. You didn't need to go to a priest anymore.
Fascinating.
You could boldly go before the throne of God. Like, you said, well, we can boldly, that's not, this is what we're talking about. You boldly go before the throne of God and say, God, I need your help. Christ, Yahweh, Yeshua, Elohim. And I get cold chills saying that. So when I told her that, you could see the color come out of her face. And I was just sitting there talking to her, my arms crossed like this, like, I don't know why you did that. Wasting your time.
Don't need no man to tell me I'm forgiven.
Yeah, I don't need no guy in a cloth that's not supposed to be touching little kids telling me nothing.
Yeah, and then at that point I was like, well, this life I have been living.
Yeah, I think and that's what she literally put her head down like, oh. And I was like, listen, if that's what floats you, I really don't care you do that. But I'm just telling you, you don't have to. You can do it. And she was like, telling me more.
Now I need to know all the things.
Yes, so then we got through Reiki too. And I think that her brain, and I'm not saying this because I'm that amazing of a teacher by any means, because I will be like, This is back when I smoked too. So halfway through the session, I'm like, we're going to take a smoke break and you're coming outside with me.
I used to love our smoke breaks.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke with you, but I love sitting.
This is true. People would come outside with me and be like, I don't smoke, but that cigarette looks good. I don't do that anymore. Anyways, we walked outside. I walked outside on FaceTime with her because she was in like Outer Banks. I was here.
Yeah.
And we got to the session. I'm like, how are you doing? And after I work with my students, I stay in contact with them, text, phone calls. I'm here. That's what I do. I mean, that's why you pay me, right? Mm-hmm. So, she was really, like, every door in her mind and her heart and her soul had been open, and she didn't. There was, sometimes you can go through like a purging after you take classes and things like that. And not everybody, and sometimes they do, sometimes it's different, sometimes it's burst of energy, sometimes you need naps, sometimes you go to the bathroom a lot, number one, number two, a lot of mucus. I sound like I just did a session, don't I? But sometimes it's allowing the light to come in for the first time. And that's what Danielle did. Like, airing her soul out, I guess, would be the best. It's like,
yeah, it was like a big window had opened.
Yeah.
Soul, and it was just like, all these colors. This is the first time I'm ever seeing this. you
Yeah.
know? I don't know. Everything was a lot brighter after that. Like, and that's like during that first session, that was what really stood out was all the light that I felt like for so long I just like had none of, you know?
Yeah.
So, but it really did feel like the window of my soul had opened, and we were like, we were letting all the light in, and it was like.
So then, so 21 days, right? 21 days in between Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3, right? And usually, I mean, a lot of people will teach Reiki teacher immediately. I like to give it some time. You could do 21 days. I don't have a problem with waiting a year to do Reiki teacher. I think that you need it because you need to get that hands-on experience, right?
Yeah.
And I have people do Reiki on plants and animals and spouses and neighbors and anybody that'll let them touch them because you don't charge them for that. You know, this is like your hands-on experience. Like when you went to massage therapy school, did you had to work on people that weren't paying you, correct?
Clinicals or practicals.
Clinicals, yeah. Well, we call them practicals, and we do call them practicals even more so when we get into mountain magic, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we did all that, and she came in, and that was a different experience, possibly for a different day. But it was something else, and I think that is, you know, one of those things that it's hard for me to understand how you could take something so pure as Reiki and pollute it with so much, like symbols from ancestors. Like what? Why? I'm not talking about ancestors. I'm talking about Reiki and Dr. Usui. He had this amount of symbols. We don't need 20 more. We don't need a new discovered elephant symbol. You know, that's not going to help me a damn bit because I don't believe in that. Yeah. You're mixing like Hinduism in with this Christian thing. I'm not saying you can't. You do it over there all you want. I'm not doing that.
Let's stick to the basics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have noticed, and I don't know, I think we've got enough time to kind of touch on this. A lot of people, I know Reiki teachers that hand out spirit guides when they teach Reiki.
What does that mean?
Well, do you know what a spirit guide is?
Loosely, but...
A spirit guide is supposedly something that comes to you to guide you through the spirit world.
Okay.
And some people depend on their spirit guides on where they should eat that day and where they should go and how they should spend their money and all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
And are they supposed to be like dead people?
They
Or
can
are
be,
supposed
or
to
they can be
animals?
angelic figures. They can be animals. They can be all kinds of things. The thing is, I've always had an issue with the ones that have the animals. I'm like, do they talk to you? Or do they just go, should I go to McDonald's, and it stands in front of McDonald's? You know, like, I have lots of questions. But what I can tell you is I've worked with a lot of people that have worked with a lot of spirit guides, and I've had a lot of people try to tell me, your spirit guide's really strong and mighty. I'm like, yeah, I don't have one.
That's called the Holy Spirit.
Yes, that's what we work with. We have one spirit guide that everybody taps into. And let me explain. The best way I can explain this is a lot of people will say, I connect to a universal energy with my spirit guide. Mm-hmm. And I think this is how I said it to you, Danielle, and if I'm wrong, you can say so.
Yeah.
imagine a universal free Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
That we all can connect to. Okay? All we have to do is have this little box in our house. And through that little box in our house, universal energy is like universal internet. Just bear with me, okay? I want you to think about, you have free universal internet. The only way you can get it is put this little box in your house. And you can connect to it. Or you can have this other, more intimate connection to internet. Okay? Maybe you have to pay or sacrifice something, whatever. I'm not saying like sacrifice, like put on an altar, but whatever. And you have to be a certain way about it, right? Mm-hmm. The universal internet that everybody's connecting to for free, you can get what I like to call universal porn pop-up, which means, like, let's say your next door neighbor is really into some nasty porn. But because you both use the same free universal internet and you all connect, like your two lines connect to the same spot or whatever.
You can get viruses.
You get viruses, you get pop-ups, you get a lot of crap that doesn't make sense, but it's on your internet, so
messages
you think it's
that
legit.
aren't for you.
Right.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, you get messages for 4 houses down, but because it's universal free internet, oh well. Or let me tell you about this other internet. Okay?
We like this internet.
This other internet, all you gotta
Unlimited data
do,
plan.
unlimited data, straight messages straight to you, not for your neighbor. And if they are for your neighbor, they're saying, hey, your neighbor's not home, so we're going to tell you this. You have to tell your neighbor. Okay, that's it. And it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. Universal free internet, spirit guides would be the little box. I don't have a little box in my house, bro. I just have the Holy Spirit within me all the time, 24/7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about 3 houses down looking at porn because my house is clean,
Right.
bro. So that's the difference, and that's what I explained to Danielle.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear you explain it that way before, and I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was
Yeah,
really
that
good.
I think that I've matured since teaching you.
Yes. Yeah. I was the guinea pig.
No, you actually weren't my first student, but you were the first student I wanted to teach. Most of the people I taught, I didn't want to teach.
Yeah.
So I wanted to teach because you wanted that. You had that hunger to learn of what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then, and that's how I feel about spirit guides, right? So Danielle went through that, and she was just like in shock and awe. And I don't think anybody had assigned you a spirit guide, had they?
No one had assigned me a spirit guide, but I had felt like I had some because I had done my own research, because you know how I go down the rabbit hole of research.
Yes. This is why we love it.
Yeah, I do a lot of research. So I had started looking into like past lives, spirit guides, all that stuff. So I had felt like there were these things that were coming and telling me they were spirit guides, because at this point I was wide open. Right? So yeah, so I was wide open. So there was a lot of, I would like to call it like pollution that was kind of clogging the lines and like coming in.
And I told her it was internet spam. That's all the hell it was. I said, how do you, was it coming in at? Was it telling you to kill yourself? Are you happy? Is your anxiety good? She's like, no, my anxiety is not good. I'm like, so what is it they're telling you? What messages are you getting? I was very to the point. I wasn't mean. I was just blunt. And I was like, so tell me a message you think that I need to hear. Come on. I got a lot of dead people in my life. Tell me what I need to hear. And nothing.
Nothing.
Radio silence, right?
Yep.
So, and that's something I tell people, and I'll have people say, your mother wants you to know you love her. And my thing is, you don't know my mom. And I know you don't know my mom, because that's not what she would say.
Yeah. I just love the fact that you were so direct about it, because I felt like no one in my life had ever been like, hey, listen, this is why I do this is why, and this is how I'm going to explain it to you so that you understand. Because, like, I really kind of needed layman's terms at that point, because you knew my mind was kind of, like, back in this, like, Catholic, you know.
Well, I was the why kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my mom would be like, I would learn how to read tea leaves from somebody in my family, mom's side, dad's side. I'll let everybody else use their own judgment in case any of my family members are listening. I'm sure you can figure it out. So I would learn how to read tea leaves. I would learn how to use tarot cards. I would learn how to use dowsing rods, divining rods. I would learn how to do all kinds of things. And then I would be like, hey, Mom, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we don't do this. And I'm like, why? She's like, we just don't. And I'm like, but why? And she's like, because it's not of God. I'm like, but why isn't it of God? Mm-hmm. And then I would do my research, and I would talk, and I would ask people, and it would, oh, okay, oh, this makes, so when I say this is why I don't work, that's why, I'm not making it up. It's because I've done hours of research. I was taught to do this. I was taught to do that, but I made my own decision, and that's part of free will, okay?
Yeah.
So people that assign spirit guides, I'm not telling you you're a bad person. It's just something I would never do in a million Brazilian years. Why? Because that's not my place.
Yeah.
Because I can't look at Morgan and go, I'm doing this because I know a specific person that does that, especially when they assign spirit guides. Your spirit guide is Henrietta. You must be a German girl. I'm only saying that because it's a little inside joke between me and Morgan. But does that make sense? Like, that's how they do it. And, like, they're like, now visualize her, visualize her, visualize her, and literally somebody's like, pink elephant, I don't know, what am I, you know, like, so then they think that every time they see a pink elephant, anything, whether it's spiritually, like inwardly with a third eye, or like a picture of a pink elephant, they think that that's Henrietta calling for them, okay? Like, it gets intense.
Yeah, but it's like, what gives you the authority to be able to assign me something for me when that's such
Listen. Depending on what you believe and how you believe, it could be a dead relative. It could be Henrietta, could be a pink elephant, but be actually Aunt Lulu from Massachusetts that died of a drug overdose. You know, like, and you don't know. Like, why would I ask her opinion on? You know, like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So. It could even be, and I hate to say this word because this word's been really a lot with it. It could be a demonic spirit. I know this is a very unpopular thought, but it could be that. Mm-hmm. In my book, mainly they are. And I know people are like, mine has never steered me wrong. Okay. But I'll put money on it. You want to gamble? Let's gamble with real cash.
My question is, like, have they questioned it? Have they tried have they got anything that backs up the validity of that thing, right? Have you ever gotten any, like, have you pushed back?
But the thing is, they can lie.
Why?
Yeah, they don't have it. What's going to tell you that they're lying, right? Like,
right.
How do you know?
How do you know? But in my case, nothing ever helped me.
I will tell you that if something comes to you and it's like, I'm your spirit guide or whatever, say, okay, do you bow before the throne of God or in front of Christ, right? Mm-hmm. Which everything, I don't care what you believe, has to bow before the throne. And it'll say yes, and it will. And I've seen these things. Yeah. Morgan, you've seen pendulums do it.
Yes.
And then if you say, but do you worship the throne?
Do you love and worship?
Listen, worship. Mm-hmm. And it'll say, I do not worship. And that's when you go, well, thanks for your business. We'll see you later. We're closed. Get the fuck out. You don't have to stay here, but you can't stay here. You don't have to go home. But this is not your home. Get the hell out. Go bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Make like a tree and fucking leave. Okay? So this is just how we feel about it. Yep. I am not judging anybody. If you have questions about spirit guides and all that stuff, please reach out. You can find us at somesayimgifted@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Some Say I'm Gifted. And you can find me personally, Tesserae Lee McKittrick, on Facebook. I think that's all the places, right, ladies? Yeah. We love you guys. We love to hear feedback, and we will talk to you next week.